Well, good morning, viewers. It is indeed the morning, and it's a morning in, well, it's the 22nd of December, and it's time to wash the car. Now, unlike the Boxster, which I previously owned, which sort of just generally only got used when it was nice and dry and warm, or at least warm, somehow having a 911 with a hard top just feels like a more usable car more of the year round. But even I draw the line at some point, and it's around about now when it just gets a bit cold, the roads get a bit greasy, temperature falls down to zero, there's salt everywhere, and I've got a car more suited to dealing with that, which is the day-to-day hack. So this is going to get a little wash, pump the tyres up, tuck it up in its cover in the garage on the charger, and it'll sit there for a couple of weeks or so until the weather warms up. Well, maybe in a couple of months, but it'll come out before that, I'm sure. So actually the car went into the garage yesterday to see the nice people at Porsche Cambridge for a couple of software tweaks. They gave it a wash, so it's not too bad. But on the drive home, weirdly, I sat in traffic under a snow machine, and the car got covered in a whole load of unpleasant chemicals out of a blowing thing. So I'm going to give it a quick wash off, put it away nice and clean, and that'll be good, and that'll be sorted then, and it'll be a happy Porsche tucked away for Christmas and the New Year. So we'll make a bit of progress on that. It's going to be a 2-bucket job. Got some shampoo in there with a little sort of artificial chamois thing, which does the job quite nicely. Rinse off in there. Look at that, change in exposure, how weird. Rinse off in there, hose it off too. And actually already you can see from previous sessions with bits of Autoglim polish and Meguiar's, this, that and the other, and also the treatment of the glass, that it's already beading very nicely, so it really won't take long to do this. It's not too warm either, so weirdly I can wash the whole car in one go, then come back and chamois it off, because when it gets a bit warm you have to do it in sections, otherwise it dries and leaves those dreaded watermarks, which means I really should get myself a soft water softener, but that's another job for another day. So we'll give it a quick rinse all over. Wheels aren't too bad, so those won't take more than a quick rub off, and then we'll get it chamoised off. Put a little bit of polish on it just to sort of seal it up, and then tuck it in the garage. More on this later on. One of the known weaknesses on the 911 design, and there's not that many, is that all of the cooling air needs to come in at the front of the car. So you can see we're down the front near side grille, and these are the condensers for the air conditioning. What happens is that anything you drive through on the motorway gets in here. These piles of leaves that can then rot down and actually start to exacerbate corrosion, which can then lead to the condensers failing, and then that's all very expensive. So one of the jobs I'm going to do today is just get my hand in there. It's a bit fiddly, get my hand in there, get these leaves out, just keep on top of that. It's good preventative stuff, and given that it's a 4-figure job to replace these, well, it's a 4-figure job to do both on both sides. You really want to avoid that all as far as possible. So we'll get my hand in there, get those leaves out and tidy it up. Right, well, I've had my hand in the condensers, and it's not terribly convenient, I've got to be honest, but I think that's looking a little bit better, so pleased with that. And the other side's much the same, so hang on, come on camera. Yeah, there we go, nice, that'll do for now. Right, that's the wash done. Now I've got to leather it off, but it's come up very nicely, as one would hope and expect. Wheels done too, they were pretty easy. There's a few tar spots, so I'll just get a bit of solvent on those, lift those off. Now I've got to leather it, and a quick rub of some wax over it just to seal it off, and that'll be a nice job done actually. I had a quick go at the interior last week, just got some saddle soap on the leather, a bit of hot water, wipes it down. It's come up pretty well. In fact, as evidence from the fact that the water started clear and ended up dirty. But it's the first time I've really seen it properly in the sunlight, and it's quite nice to see that actually everything's looking pretty tidy. And yeah, it's holding showing it's not showing its 8 years rather well, so that's very pleasing, all in order. So that plus a bit of an exterior wash today means the car's job done for a while, so I'm very pleased with that. I should just let you know I'm planning to do some driving with it on the old camera, but I'm just trying to figure out a tripod microphone combination. But in the meantime, just predominantly fettling it, which I enjoy doing, so lots of fettling. Right, well there we go, job done. That is a clean 997 Gen 2, and I'm quite chuffed with the way it's come up, but that's not unexpected given that it's a nice car and it's in good condition. So yeah, condensers nice and clean in there, all in order. And also I went around the exterior and put a little bit of special sauce on these harder plastic trims. So there, for example, this little lip down here as well, so just a little bit of colour back into that, cleaning off some of the dirt that's accumulated on that. Little wipe down with some wax just to sort of seal it off, fills in a tiny amount of the scratches. There's a little bit of swirling in the bodywork, but it's not unexpected for a car this age. And yeah, that's come up nicely. Little wipe down in the engine bay, and then a little detailing in there, and very happy. I may have also, as you possibly have spotted, put a slightly different number plate on the car, and if you really know your Porsche, you'll know why, but I'm not going to explain it because that's boring. So that's that. These definitely need replacing. These tips, they are beyond repair. They've been scratched. There's this pile of sort of tar enabled stick on here which I can't get rid of. I've tried, and they're just worn out and knackered, so there's not a lot of choice. I've said before, not a lot of choice on these, so I'm going to get the same basic versions of Porsche parts, so it's quite expensive, regrettably. But they do one, I think, where this body is black and then the tips are chromed, which I think will just work better with the black car, so that's to come, but I'll just save up for that because it's quite dear. Otherwise, car's in really nice condition. I'll stick the cover under it, stick it under the cover. We'll get the battery charger on, the conditioner on, and that is a car happy to be clean and ready to be tucked up for at least a couple of days over winter, over Christmas rather. And I look forward to driving it a little bit harder and a little bit faster in the new year once the roads dry out and I get more used to its handling. So far though, so good. Hope you enjoyed today's little wash.